Is at the show.
Hello Yvonne, yes, welcome to Trenton. These ladies are calling themselves the Bob Warman cheerleaders today. Hello ladies. Yes, we're in the Central Eco Garden. We've been developing this plot over the last 6 months with the help of staff here at Trenton. And our man behind the project is our environment correspondent who's got his head in his compost bin here, Colin Green. Colin, how have you developed the site? What have we got here if people come and visit us today?
Well, what we've got here, Joe, we've tried to create a mosaic of habitats. We've got over there a pond, we've got a bog garden. This is the bee and butterfly garden. Here we've got a water conservation garden. I know what you're going to say.
Well, we haven't really needed a water conservation garden
climate
this
change,
summer.
you never know. Next year, we could need something like that. And over the far side there, we've got a fabulous wildflower meadow.
Yeah, and it looks good and it smells good despite the lack of sunshine today, Colin. Now, we're joined by Tim Hayward from Trenton. Tim, this is a 750-acre site. You've spent a fortune over the last few years, the locals have been telling me. How much has it cost and is it continuing?
Well, the total scheme will be £100 million. It's taken us 10 years so far, another 2 or 3 years to go, so yeah, big scheme.
Great. Well, Tim's official job here today is to unveil the centrepiece of our garden. It's a chainsaw carving that we've had commissioned. So over to you, Tim. Do your official job.
It gives me great pleasure to unveil Freddy the Frog.
Hey! And doesn't he look fantastic? And Fred is actually the work of Mr. Fred Woods, very appropriately named. Now, you're a chainsaw carver. How do you tackle a piece of art like this, Fred? What did you do?
Well, you need a clear picture in your mind of what you're trying to achieve, and then hopefully just take the right bits off and leave the rest behind.
Now, we've made this out of a piece of wood that was left over here at Trenton. What kind of wood is it?
Yeah, the frog's from cedar, Western red cedar, and this is oak from Trenton Gardens.
And you thought Freddie looked a little bit lonely in our garden, so you bought us a present today. What's this?
Yeah, we bought a little snail called Brian or Ryan or whatever people want to christen him.
Why don't you put him on the lily pad next to Freddie? There'll be more from us here at 6. Bob's going to be here. We're going to be officially...
Oh, next, it's time to take a trip to the north of our region, to Stoke-on-Trent, where we can join Bob and Joe for the official opening of our Central News Eco Garden at Trentham.
It's taken a lot of hard work, but the day has finally arrived. How's it looking, guys?
Well, it's all looking pretty good, actually. This is the result of 6 months' work. And Joe and Colin have been coming down here every other week to take a look at things and make sure everything's working properly. Joe's still got her gloves on. It's all show, this is, by the way.
I've been working right up to the last minute with my hoe, taking out a few weeds. It really has been 6 months of hard labour. Colin Green.
Do you know what to do with that? Sorry.
Anyway, our environment correspondent, Colin Green, has been in charge of the garden. You planned it all out. Colin, how's it taken shape? What have we got here today?
Well, what we've created is a mosaic of small gardens. We've got a bee and butterfly garden, a bog garden, which has been a great year for a bog garden. Here's a water conservation garden.
Well, we hardly needed a water conservation garden this summer.
It was a good idea at the time. Next year we might have a drought, you never know. And over there, where everybody's standing, of course, we've got a wildflower meadow. So, you know, it's been really, really exciting, you know.
Yeah, and it's although we haven't got sun tonight, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? Considering what we've been through with weather and everything this year, I think there's something for everybody in this garden.
It's hard to believe that only, about 2 weeks ago, this was standing in water. And, you know, we've literally whipped it all out and put those plants in. It's been a bad year, the worst year worst in 200 years. So I think we've done pretty good.
I'm amazed that the water conservation garden looks so good, considering these are plants that don't need any water at all, and they've had a lot of water.
You will not leave me alone, will you? She's been at me all the time.
Of course, the garden hasn't always looked like this. As we said, it's taken 6 months of hard work from all the team here at Trenton. They worked really hard. So let's take a look back now at the progress of the garden. We started in February. I remember us sheltering in the shed. It was cold, it was freezing cold. Then it was wet.
And then it was wet.
And then it was wet.
And then it was further wet.
And then it was even more wet.
The highlight is sitting here looking over it, watching all the butterflies come in, watching the bees come in, and watching the people enjoy it.
Has the garden stayed true to the eco principles that we laid out at the beginning?
Very much so. We've tended to use all local plants that have been grown locally. We've not used any chemicals, we've not used any peat, we've practiced biological control. Even the stone paths, the stones locally sourced, so all the timber.
We used the bits of old wood from Trentham, haven't we?
Even Freddie is part of what was a magnificent tree that fell down in a storm.
Well, I think this is my favourite part of the garden. I like to stand on the bridge near the shed where I've got my cup of tea and look out over the lovely flowers, Colin. And actually, although I mocked it when we did it, I am very fond of the roof of the shed. The weeds on the top of... No, not weeds, sedum.
That's correct.
Sedum on the roof of the shed.
Because you thought I was pulling your leg about putting plants on a roof, didn't you?
But it looks very pretty.
It looks nice. ITV Central, we've come in here, we've created this, but we've left a legacy. And this legacy can be visited by all the visitors that come here, all the Central viewers can come and see this.
Well, now it's time, the moment we've been waiting for, when we're going to officially open the Central Eco Garden. And who better to do it than our environment correspondent, Colin Green, and his worthy assistant, Joe. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Who needs a pair of scissors when they're giving me something like this? Why don't you say a few words?
Well, yes,
it's an official opening.
Thank you very much. Well, it gives obviously Joe and myself and Bob a great pleasure in opening this garden. First of all, I'd like to say it's been really a pleasure working with all the staff at Trentham. I mean, me and you's come along and done it all and gone away, and I bet everybody thinks it's down to me and you, but really, it's been down to the staff at Trentham. So thank you very much.
Right, so come
right, here we go then. Right, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. It saved the day. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Well opened there. Well, now let's, while the guests start on the champagne, let's find the man who's really in charge of all of this, Marcus, who's the head gardener here. Marcus, what do you think of this eco garden? Is it up to scratch?
I think we're delighted with it. It's been a lot of hard work, 4 months, and we've got a result for all our efforts.
Yep. Anything that really takes your eye in there that you really like?
The plant I like the most is at the back, the purple, the verbena.
That's the verbena, yes.
Everyone's asking about that at the moment.
That's grown very well. It's
I think that's done really well.
Grown almost like a weed, hasn't it?
Well, it has a bit, yeah. But I think it's a worthwhile weed. Yeah. And then the feature I like the most is the eco seat that Paul and I built yesterday.
Oh, that's clever. Hey, what, you built that just in one day, did you?
Yeah, we turned it around in a day.
Oh, very, very clever, yes. Now, if you've got an eco garden, how easy is it to look after an eco garden?
I think as long as you follow sort of good gardening principles, you know, mulch it, get it clean initially, pick the right plants, reasonably easy. Gardening can be easy if you do things at the right time.
And do you think eco gardens will catch on, do you?
Well, they should do. They've got to, haven't they, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. Well, general seal of approval. Let's find Joe again, because there you are, Joe.
Yeah.
You've got the seal of approval from the head gardener.
I know. Robin, you've been here all day. You've been trying to read the news. What do you think of the garden?
Fantastic.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
What's your favourite bit?
Everything. I can't believe it only took 5 years to make.
Yvonne's been here. Yvonne, this is the first time you've seen the garden. What do you think?
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent. And what about you, madam? Where have you come from today?
Only down the road. I'm in Trentham already.
Have you seen the garden before today?
I have. I've seen what you've been doing on the news.
And do you like it?
I
Thumbs
think it's
up?
absolutely wonderful.
Excellent. Well, everybody in the studio, it gets the thumbs up from everybody out here at Trentham today. So cheers. Right now, we'll hand back to you and we'll see you later.
A well-deserved drink.
And here are the Duffield family. Thank you very much for helping us with the filming. What did you enjoy about your day? What was your favourite point?
Well, the favourite point was we had a boat trip to the monkey forest and the kids loved the monkeys.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that this family have followed us all around the region.
Gray here, and thanks to everyone who's joined us. And we're currently sitting on an eco bench which was made in just one day. It's more comfortable than the bench we've got in the studio, isn't it?
And also, Colin, this is going to be good for beetles or something, isn't it, this bench?
It's what you call a beetle bank, so you're going to get all sort of invertebrates and creepy crawlies in here.
But not where you're sitting, obviously, but behind us somewhere, Bob, anyway.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. And if anybody's been here today and they've tried their go at news reading, and we've had some very good ones, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
They can see themselves back on give us the address.
itvlocal.com/central.
Correct.
Now you've said that, the sun's come out.
Oh, the sun's come out.
The sun has come out,
Now
yes.
we've said that, the sun's come out. There you go. Better late than never, Bob.
It's been a great day. And for now, we'll leave you with the highlights of some of today's events. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening.